to Ainsley.
Oh, you look up to your sister?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were telling me I was saying her name.
Oh, I think that's really sweet. As much as you guys fight and act like you want to, murder each other, I'm glad to know that deep down inside of you that you have
I
fear.
have a metal baseball bat that I want.
Okay, let's don't use that on our sister. Okay? Thank you for that. Yes. Who is somebody that you consider influential in your life? God. God is definitely very influential in our life. He should be guiding and kind of leading and directing what steps that we take. All right. Ainsley?
Is this like who we look up to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, pass.
Pass, okay.
Come
Anybody
back
else?
to me.
When I think of people that are influential, it really depends on what type of influence we're thinking of. If we're talking about somebody who I find influential in my spiritual walk, somebody who I know I can conversate with that's going to challenge me and help me to grow deeper in my faith and in my relationship, I already got it. One person that I always go to when I've got struggles going on is Miss Tiffany, and then I always talk to Miss Amanda and Miss Ellen. I mean, those are usually my go-tos of who, when I'm struggling. Well, Mr. Les is a given. I live with him. He hears about it all the time. So,
All the time.
As far as in my career, as far as a teacher, there are definitely some teachers in the school that I'll go communicate with when I'm having a hard time and I just need some encouragement and some influence. I love Miss Kimber. She's one of my favorite ones to go and talk to. Miss Bowen is another one of my favorite ones to go and talk to. A teacher?
I talk to you all the
Oh,
time.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, what about
I do too. So, but there's certain people that the Lord puts in our lives that we just have a likeness with. We have a connection with somebody that challenges us in our faith, somebody who challenges us and is not afraid to call us out when we're acting a fool, because that happens, right? All right, Ainsley.
So if I had to really choose, this is kind of not really somebody I really look up to, but it's more of something like that I always go to, like if I want to tell her something,
Yeah,
or if like I want to ask her a question.
yeah.
I usually like tell Logan a bunch of my secrets and stuff.
That's fine. That's a godly friendship.
Everything in your entire life.
That's a godly friendship. Ainsley, look at you. That's a good thing to have. We've talked about the difference between just regular friendships and a godly friendships, and there is a difference between the two of those. So that is a good thing to have. All right. So these people have the ability to make a greater impact on us because of their proximity to us, which means their closeness to us. If there's someone that we communicate with regularly, then we have a really great relationship with them. So when we say and we do things and we create a ripple, they're some of the ones that get hit by that ripple first. Your family. Sometimes, let's be honest, our family gets the worst of us. And it's mainly because we're so comfortable with our family. We let our guards down. We don't feel like we have to pretend to be somebody that we're not. They hear all of our gripes and our complaints. Poor Mr. Les, he does hear all my gripes and complaints. I hear his too, though. So, there's that. But they are the people that get impacted the most by our ripples that we create, our lines that we cast that are out there. All right. It's what we observed, when the pebble hits the water. No matter how big the pebble is or how far the ripple spreads, the biggest ripples happen at the point of contact. And true influence goes hand in hand with being up close to the people around us. The closer you are, the more influence you can have for good and also for bad, you guys. So because that goes both ways. Your point of contact, your ripple that you're creating can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. If you're a negative Nancy who's always got the glass half empty and only looks at things, the worst case scenario, you're creating some pretty negative ripples. And when you're sending out negativity, that's what you're going to get more of in your own life. When you're sowing seeds of negativity, that is what you are also going to reap. All right. So, flip with me now to Matthew chapter 5 and verse number 14 and 16. All right, I'm going to use the bottom of our board down here. All right, so let's talk about this for a second. Here's our little stone we're making. All right, we talked about our first ripple Our family,
Nothing what?
5. Who do you think would be our second point of impact?
Friends.
And sleep.
Friends.
Family, friends, okay. Friends. Well, God should be influencing our decisions. Our friends. What about, who do you think would be on that third ripple? We said our friends. What about even our family's that very first one? That's going to be our very first point of contact there. Pets, maybe,
Minnie Mouse.
especially if you're dropping the ball and not taking care of them. Emma Bacon. So,
Minnie Mouse.
all right. What about our classmates? Like maybe some of our classmates that we're not really close friends with. We know them, we know who they are, we just don't have a very deep relationship with them. Would that be somebody that's kind of on the outside of our inner
I
circle?
have a deep relationship. Donald Duck.
Donald
You do. Well, you have 8 in your class. I think it would be hard not to, right? Yeah. All right. So who do we think could be this next one? All right. Let's talk about this for a second. Let's say you go to Killen Park and you've got your McDonald's because you just left with your Happy Meal and you finished your Happy Meal and you're so ready to go play, and so you're going to go throw your trash away, and then you notice the garbage can's full. So, what do? You eat your garbage.
Yeah.
Negative. You throw it on top or try to push it down in there, but maybe look for another garbage can. Or do you think to yourself, what is one Happy Meal going to do? It's not going to hurt anything, right? But then, let's think about it. Let's think about the repercussions of our actions here. If we throw our one Happy Meal down on the ground, and it had like a plastic straw in it, you know, because that's like the big thing right now. You can't do plastic straws because it kills animals. Let's say a duck comes and it's eating your Happy Meal, and it swallows the plastic straw.
That sucks.
And then that poor duck was trying to take the food back to feed his babies, but then the duck choked on the straw and died. All because you wouldn't throw your trash away.
All you hear is
So,
poop coming up to the top.
your impact of your decision has now left 4 little orphan ducks because you couldn't throw your trash away. That is a ripple. As silly as that sounds, and as probably unfeasible as that really is, that is a ripple because of the decision you made and the stone you cast into the water. You have impacted that poor little baby duck. So you left your trash and the duck died.
Well, that's what.
I don't even know if ducks could eat Happy Meal or straw, but that's fine. I know. Again, but there's a river pretty close. Yeah, so- exactly. Okay. All right. So we'll come back to some of these ripples of influence in just a minute. I'll come right back to you. Okay. I'll come back. Promise. All right. But first, I want to look at a powerful image that talks to us about how our influence can shine light for others. If you guys were here Wednesday night with me, we talked about when we light a candle, we don't just hide it. You know, your light's not going to work unless you put a light bulb in it. You can flip that switch all day long, but if there's no light bulb in there, it's not going to work. Okay? So, in this passage of scripture we're about to read, Jesus is in the middle of preaching a sermon to a crowd of people who had gathered around to hear him teach. So we are in Matthew chapter 5, and we are in verse 14 through 16. And it says, "You are the light of the world, a town built on a hill that cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, you let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Okay, giving you an example here. Do you guys remember, maybe this didn't happen at your house, but our power went out like maybe a month ago. We had like a really bad storm that was supposed to be coming in, and our power went out, so we didn't have any, we had just flashlights and stuff. But
Why do you guys just go to sleep?
yeah. I know ours was out for like hours. So let's say you only had one flashlight in the house, and somebody had to go use the bathroom. And you're like, you ain't taking my flashlight. I'm not sitting here go into the bathroom and go use the restroom. And so you make them go in there all by themselves without a flashlight in the dark.
And then the curtain moves.
Ainsley wouldn't need a flashlight
The
because she
curtains.
uses the
No.
bathroom and does everything in the dark.
It's, it's usually just the air conditioning would kick on, but in this sense, there's no power, so the air conditioning can work. So you send them in there all by themselves, and if you live in a house like I do, where there's a boy who doesn't ever put the seat down, and you're a girl, and then you fall in the toilet.
Hey, you never
It's
flush
a
the
terrifying
toilet.
thing, by the way.
Yeah, you don't flush or put the
It's
seat down.
super scary.
Hey,
All because one, a boy didn't put down a toilet seat, and two, you selfishly would not share your flashlight. I mean, you could have stood outside the door and let him just take the flashlight in with him and then gotten it right back. So, all right, the light though, if you'll notice, I've given you guys this example to do before. Okay? When you go home today, turn on the light in your closet, turn off the light in your closet and go inside your closet and close the door. All right? But do that and notice you're still going to see light. Underneath the crack of the door, on the side over at the crack of the door, maybe even the top, the bottom, I don't know, maybe you got a hole in your ceiling you didn't know was there, and light may come through. I don't know. Because the light always has a way of overtaking the darkness. Even in the absolute darkest of night, we always have stars. So even when it's pitch black, the light is always there. Yes, ma'am.
So that's why she should be prepared. Always have a phone that
That's never happens at our house. I'm pretty terrible about that. Okay. So, all right, like those illuminated fast food signs. All right, let's be honest here. How many of you guys, well, you guys probably don't look out the window when you're driving down the road.
Yes.
You know, us old people that didn't have tablets and cell phones to look at when we were driving down the road. You do. You used to, you look out and kind of see the things that are around you. And if you guys were anything like us when we were little, you would see those nice golden arches off in the distance, and you would know it's McDonald's. And you might as well go ahead and start getting your puppy dog face out now and start asking Mom, I really like French fries. I really like some French fries. Because you see those golden arches off in the distance just calling to you, right?
Yes.
All right, so just like those illuminated fast food signs, you wouldn't miss a well-lit city on a hill. In the same way, you can't miss the influence of someone whose life clearly reflects the light of Jesus. When you let the light of Jesus overtake you, you're letting Jesus transform you into his image. When you're letting the light of Jesus overtake you, you're speaking kind and loving words. Your ripple is radiating that kindness onto other people. You guys are cracking me up right there. All right, you're helping people who are in need, who are in, who need guidance, who need aid. You're sharing the wisdom that the Lord has given you through situations that you've come out of. And you're sharing the story of Jesus and how he has changed you. We all have the ability to shine light in the darkness. It's what influencers do. And you guys, each and every one of you have that opportunity to be an influencer. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have a YouTube channel that has 5 million followers. I don't know, some of you may. You might. It could happen. But you do have a ripple. You do have a circle of people that you impact through your day-to-day decisions, through the words that you speak, through the way that you communicate with each other. And your first point of impact is going to be in your home. So if you're always giving your family your worst, you're whining, you're griping, and you're complaining, and you're fighting, are you really spreading that positivity? Are you really spreading that influence of how the Lord has changed you? No. Trust me, I'm guilty of it too. We all are. Sometimes we don't even want to hear anybody's voice. Just stop talking.
Yes.
Trust me, I feel like that too. But sometimes we need to slow down. We need to take a minute. We need to look back. We need to reflect on how the decisions we're making, how they're impacting those that are around us. All right, my friends. So your challenge this week, I want you to figure out your own ripple. Who is your point of impact? Okay? My ripple looks similar. Oh no, actually it looks a little bit different to that. My ripple is going to be my family. Yes, it's going to be you guys. Y'all are part of my ripple. It's going to be my kids at school. That's part of my ripple. This community, because of the position that we hold here in this church, that's part of my ripple. My kids' friends, they're part of my ripple. So think about it. I know. All right, Cam, did you have something to share?
What about your own kids?
My own kids, they're part of my family.
So they go in the ripple?
I mean, practically, you guys really are. I treat you all like my own kids, don't I?
Yeah.
I definitely talk to you guys like my own kids. It's true. We're about to, all right, guys. So your challenge this week is I want you to think about your ripple. I want you to really, really take some time and think about how your actions are influencing those around you, the ones that are closest to you and even the ones that are furthest away from you. Okay, let's pray, and then I promise Emery we play 4 corners.